Hello and welcome. It is officially, yes, it's August 1st. Holy crap. I don't know where you live, but I am already seeing all of the, hey, it's the first day of school photos all over my socials. It's crazy. I cannot believe that. It is insane. Well, thank you for being here. I know there are a lot of new viewers recently because of all of my nitpicks videos. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you so much. I'm glad you stayed tuned in, and I hope you love the content. I love to bring it to you. Today we're going to be talking about our whips, what we're working on, what I'm sort of trying to figure out, some yarny news, all of that good stuff. This is my weekly Off the Hook podcast, and I love doing these. So I hope you love them too. This week has kind of been a little bit like the excitement you feel when you are going to a theme park. You get to the gates of the theme park, you get through the front gates, you're ready to ride that first ride, and then you realize, I don't have any energy for this. That's kind of how I feel this week. And part of it's because I finished the amazing jacket that we're going to talk about over here. And then the rest of the week, I've just been super low energy. And, it's almost like that high. And then all of a sudden, once the adrenaline hits, you're all just kind of like, okay, now I'm exhausted. I sort of feel a little bit like that. So let's dive in here. Well, first talk about the fact that my husband fixed my stool so it doesn't squeak anymore, because I know I edited one of those videos and the squeak was horrible. So we are good on that now. Next, I wanted to talk a little bit about the fact that I have started to really work on building the community here on YouTube. So if you're not already subscribed, I hate those kind of videos where it's like, subscribe, do this, do that. But I do want you to know that if you do enjoy these, I am also starting to post different things that I'm not talking about necessarily in the videos. Or sometimes those posts are a little bit of an advanced look at what I might talk about in the videos. So if you enjoy the content, you enjoy my vibe, sometimes my weird sense of humor, then certainly make sure that you're hanging out in the community here as well, because I'm posting some good stuff in there. And along with that, I have started to do a Swatch Saturday. And what Swatch Saturday is I am doing a swatch. I'm picking a yarn out of my stash. It might be something that's variegated or whatever the case might be. And I am crocheting a single crochet and a double crochet swatch out of those. Wow. Hello. Let's try that again. I am crocheting a single crochet and a double crochet swatch so that you can see what different yarns work up like. And the reason I'm doing this is because, the number of times I'm like, that's a beautiful yarn. I can see what it looks like as a knit. What the heck does it look like in crochet? No idea, because the company that makes it doesn't produce swatches for crocheters more often than not. There are a couple of indie dyers that do, but the vast majority of companies, they may do a swatch for knitters so that a knitter can see what it works up like, but they do not do swatches for crocheters. So I thought, hey, I've got lots of different types of yarn in my stash. Why not start doing a Swatch Saturday? Now here's the thing. If you're following me on Instagram, you can certainly see those. I am posting them in that community here on YouTube as well, But I don't want this to be just my exercise. So if you're making swatches out of different types of yarn, use the hashtag Swatch Saturday and start posting your own swatches. And then let's kind of create a little bit of a database of different yarns and what they look like when they're crocheted up. I think that is a brilliant idea because, well, I came up with it. Hey, well, that was rude. Anyway, I think it's a pretty smart idea to have a catalog of swatches. So, you'll see me posting those. I would love to see your input on them as well. So let's just do it together. Think that's a great idea. And one more thing while we're talking about this YouTube stuff, and that is that, yes, I hit 500 subscribers. Well, that kind of sounds a little wimpy, but it's not. If you've ever tried to get YouTube and build a YouTube channel, you know that even 500 subscribers can be very, very challenging. It has taken me, let's see, May, June, July, 14 months to get to 500 subscribers. The monetization features, I don't know if I'll use those or not, start at this point, but it's not like getting ad revenue. That doesn't happen until you get to 1,000 subscribers. Not that you care, but if you do, that's your information. And it's also just sort of a validation point. Like, there are at least 500 people that have subscribed to my channel. I would love to hit that 1,000 subscriber mark by the end of the year. I think that would be huge. I think it's totally doable, and fingers crossed we'll get there. So if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Oh wait, I wasn't going to do that. Anyway, let's move on to our finished objects. Ta-da! She is done. Are you excited? I am so happy. If you've been following the channel, you have seen that this girl right here has been a pain in my tuchus. She has been so much of a challenge for me. These sleeves have gone through so many different sort of variations. The granny squares have always been there. That was the main idea and the main theme. But there are the joins and different aspects of it. I just wasn't getting it. It wasn't really kind of clicking for me. The different things that I was doing to join the granny squares, I don't know. It was a real struggle for me. And then what I was going to do with the cuff down here, and I think that this, I've got her pinned right here, so I think this turned out so cool. Her name, because I named my jackets, her name is Deep Sea Rebel, because I think she's kind of got that rebel vibe, and yet I think these granny squares give that deep sea color. And one of the things that I did, the yarn that I used for the granny squares was a fingering weight. It was Chroma What's Crackin', and that is a fingering weight yarn. And when I initially did the joins, I was joining it with fingering weight yarn, and it just wasn't giving me the right vibe. So I went out and I was looking for some really deep gray, like not black. I did not want black because this is a little bit, it's a faded black. So I didn't want that deep black because I thought that was going to be too stark. But I also didn't want the really light gray that was going to kind of clash with this. I wanted something that was a really deep gray. And I probably bought about 5 or 6 different skeins and finally found one. I was looking for a DK weight. Couldn't find a DK weight, but I think that was a happy accident. This is actually a worsted weight, and I think the chunkier weight of that joining the thinner weight yarn adds a lot to it. I think it just gives it more of that rebel feel. and I really like it. And then I did the cuff so that if somebody likes to have the loose flowy cuff, they certainly can, but if they want something that's going to be more cinched, then they can tie this bow tighter and have a cuff that works either way, no matter what somebody is going to like. And I think the satin bow just adds just a nice little touch of femininity to the overall sort of grungy feel of the piece. So I am just so thrilled with how this ended up working out. I could not be happier with it. So let me see if I can pin her back here, just to give you a little vibe there, my little buddy, as we're going through these different patterns. So that is the project that I finished up. And I did use about 600 grams overall. I know this is the beginning of the month, so I should be giving you all my stash totals, but I gotta be transparent. I don't know. I might go back to that, but, and I'm keeping track of it on my own. I'm not sure you guys care. I'm not making a big enough dent in it. If you like to hear the stash totals, let me know and I'll keep doing those. If you don't care, let me know that too. Like, whatever works for you. But I do think I used about 600 grams between the fingering weight and the worsted weight, just to kind of join everything together. So super happy with her. She is listed on the website for sale, so if you want to check her out, you can go to knowitscrochet.com/shop, and you'll find her listed up there for sale. Well, as long as somebody hasn't bought her before now. We'll see. All right, let's talk about some of our whips. I only have 2 whips that are, well, 3 if you count the blanket that I have not touched. Although I think I'm going to be touching the blanket pretty soon. Next week I probably will be resuming some blanket work. Maybe. I'm not really excited about working on the granny square blanket right now, so, but I'm about to finish this top right here, and so I might need something that's a little mindless to work on while I am doing my jackets. Let's talk about this. This is the, let's show her off. She's not quite done, but she's like 90% of the way there. This is my Frankensteined Sweet Summer Tea by Evelyn and Peter. The Sweet Summer Tea. And I call her Frankenstein because there are a few major changes that I made to this pattern that are not from the Summer Tea. First of all, the Summer Tea used a DK weight yarn, and this is the Rococo linen from Hobbii, and it is a fingering weight yarn. So I had to modify the pattern so that it would work with the gauge that I was getting, because with a fingering weight yarn, I was not going to get the same gauge as a DK weight yarn was. So I modified the sizing of it in order to do that. And that actually wasn't that hard. I basically went for the measurement. So I looked at her measurement and said, well, for my body, I want something that is going to be, well, I have a 42-inch bust, so I need it to be about 44 inches. I don't want a ton of ease, just enough to feel comfortable in it. So I wanted something that was 44 inches. So I took the size that she had that was going to be closest to get me to that, and that's the size that I made it. It turned out that that was a medium, because her pattern actually had like 6 inches of positive ease, and I did not want that much ease. I didn't want something that was huge and drapey. I just don't like that. So that's why I ended up with the medium, even though I was going down in yarn weight. So that was the first big change that I made. The second change was a really simple one, and that's that I did not, I still gotta crochet those in my ends. I left a little edging on both sides because I kind of like the split. And all that is that she had you seam from the bottom all the way up to where you wanted your opening, and I just started a little bit further up. So I started about 2.5 inches up so that I could have a little bit of a split right there, and that worked perfectly. Gave me just a little bit of a kind of flowy room down at the bottom. The biggest change is that I added the collar. And the collar actually turned out to be a really simple addition. I was kind of worried about it because I'd never done a collar before. But literally, because her pattern has this split here, and then it has like a gradual kind of up all the way to the back, and then it joins straight across. So from where the gradual started and then all the way around the back, I just did a half double crochet with increases on both collar points. So that's all it was. It was pretty easy. I just made it as wide as I wanted it to. The one thing, that was the pattern that I was following, was that it said to do an increase on each point. But it started to get a little bit 70s vibe with too much of a point and not enough of a width back here. So I think if I did it again, I would do an increase on each point every other row and no increase. I would just kind of test it out and see if that worked. But overall, I really like it. What do I still need to do? I still got a couple of tails to weave in. I might give it just a little bit more length, but I think I'm going to block it and see. And then I still need to do the cuff over here, but I'm having a little bit of a challenge with the sleeves. I might do something a little bit different because I hate it. If you look, if both of my arms are down, this sleeve sets a little bit better than this one. This one I've already done the finishing on, and I feel like it kind of stands out at a point a little bit more, and I'm not a big fan of that. I want it to lay a little bit better, so I don't know if I need to do a little bit of a decrease so that it's a little bit more snug around my arm or something like that. I'm not 100% sure because honestly, I want to be finished with this. It didn't take me long. It really did not take me long at all. But I want to wear it on Saturday because I'm getting together with a group of friends to do a crochet. And I want to wear it when I meet all of them. So I want to get it finished and I don't want to mess around too much more with it. That seems to be kind of the biggest challenge for me. Is I love, I have these big visions for a project, and then when I get to the finish line, I'm like, let me just halfway it and get it done. And I don't take it that extra mile. That's just kind of one of my challenges. Now with these jackets, that's part of what's been slowing me down. Is I am dead set determined on going the extra mile on these jackets. And so a lot of times that means they're going to sit until I am ready to take it that extra mile. But something that is a garment that I want to wear for myself, a lot of times I just get there and I'm just like, okay, I just want to finish it. I just want to get it finished so I can start the next project. Can you relate? I think maybe you can. I can't be the only one that understands what that feels like. So I should have this finished up tomorrow, which is the day that this video is going to go out, so that I can wear it on Saturday, which would be tomorrow when this video is out. So but it should all be good. And once I have it all done, I will make sure to post some final photos of it in the YouTube community and on Instagram. So if you're following me in either of those two places, you should be able to see the final product, whatever it ends up looking like. So we'll see for sure. Okay, last project. I am starting my next jacket. I may have pointed this one out already. This one is going to give me that Southwest vibes with the rusty kind of rivets. So I have I love this yarn, and I know I don't generally want to use acrylic, but this yarn was so perfectly colored for this project that I was totally like, yes, I am going to use that. And this is in the colorway Dakota. So this is 100% acrylic. It is a worsted weight yarn. And I think what I might end up doing, somehow I haven't decided fully yet, is adding some leather braids in the complementing colors of like the red and the teal and the brown somehow throughout the sleeve to give it a little bit more of that southwesty sort of western kind of vibe and just zhuzh it up even more, kind of like what this satin ribbon did for this one. It took it from just crocheted sleeves to something a little bit more artistic, and that's what I want to do with this, is just give it something that has it takes it up just an extra notch and gives it a little bit of more of an artistic flair to it. So I'm kind of toying around with some different ideas, but getting started on this, I am going to do a mesh stitch on it, and I've been playing around with that. I think I finally landed on what it is. One of the challenges with doing these jackets is really just kind of coming up with the yarn and the stitch pattern, and it's that design process, because I'm not just following a pattern for these. I'm not just saying, oh, here's the pattern, here's the yarn I need to use, let's work it up. There is more to it with these jackets. So, and I love it, don't get me wrong. It is definitely something that I absolutely think is an amazing part of the process, but it is also a challenging part of the process. So that's what I have there. I did get my business cards in. I will have Farah show you what those look like right here so you can see, because if I held one up, you wouldn't be able to see it anyway. Nothing fancy. I just wanted a place where people knew what my socials were. And I've actually already given a couple of them out, so it's a good thing that I got them. I got them at Got Print. I think it was 100 of them for $20 shipped. So not expensive whatsoever. But at least I have something when people say, oh, do you have a website? Yes, I do. And here's my card with all of that information on it. So that is a win for sure. Now, I'm going up to Flagstaff this weekend. If you're not from Arizona, you may not know, but I am in Phoenix, where it is supposed to be 113 this weekend. And we're going up to Flagstaff, where it'll be about 90 this weekend. So I am excited about getting out of the heat just a little bit, seeing my family up there, doing some crocheting with the gals that all get together up there, visiting a farmer's market because they all shut down here during the summer when it's too hot to do anything, and just enjoying the weekend. I will definitely be taking my crochet sleeves to work on, and maybe the granny square blanket, because this is supposed to be done, so I will have no other active whips to be working on. So let me know, what do you think? What are you going to be working on? What are your plans for this weekend? I can't wait to hear from you, and thank you so much. Farah, it's time to go.